Okay guys, let's talk validations. So validations are just a way to tell the user while they're ordering that something is valid or it isn't. So I've created a little order here and I've ordered something that's pretty much impossible. And the way this company's set up to do this is they're just telling the user the panel is too large. So in this case, they're saying we will build it, but we will not warranty it. So there are two kinds of validations. There are these yellow or orange validations, and there are the red ones. Now, this type will let you proceed, but the red one will not. So you can see just kind of how this works as the user corrects the mistakes or the things that are causing the validation to pop up. The validations take care of themselves. Validations are essential because they allow you to set the parameters on your products and give you the surety that every order coming in has already been run through all of your checks, and they eliminate so many back and forth conversations between you and your customers about what is possible and what is not. You probably already have hundreds of validations that you're just dealing with manually day to day. Putting these in the system at the product level allows you to automate and perfect that ordering process. So let me show you how to configure these. You're going to go to the product level. Let's pick a product and we're going to go to the validation tab at the top. Now read this. Keep in mind that you're writing validations as a gatekeeper. The validation is for things you don't want to happen or don't want to pass through. Now from a zoomed out level, you can add as many validations to a product as you need. So you can see we can just keep adding and adding and adding validations. Now let's look at an example. In the past, you may have limited your customers to the total door width or something like that, saying you cannot order a door that is over 40 inches wide. But the only reason that you were limiting that is because, let's say your planer was only wide enough to get that type of a panel through the machining process. So with these new automated validations, I would suggest that you really rethink the reason that you are doing things and break it down to a more granular level. So for example, rather than limiting the door width, let's limit the panel width because we can look at all the parts and make sure that all the parts work. So let's look at how that happens. So it reads just like a logic statement. If panel width, and you can choose any of these variables from a drop down, you see you have all of the variables we had in the other sections of the site. So if panel width is less than, or we could do any of these, and then we're telling the system use this number field, or we could have done another part, then we could keep adding conditions, or this, or that, or this. And here's where you do and statements. So keep in mind, we've got two things going on here. We've got this, and this, and this. And then within each of those we have if this, or. So any of these and any of these. And at first this may be a little confusing, but try it out and you'll get used to it. Most of the time though, you're gonna just keep it simple, and especially as you're starting out, do these one at a time. So here you're telling it what is going to trigger the validation, and then here you're telling it what are we going to do. There are two options. Alert and stop processing, meaning they cannot submit this as an order until they fix it, or alert but continue. So this is the orange one I was talking about, and this is the red one I was talking about. And then you have a message to tell the user, and you can write whatever you need to in here. Be very clear on what message you're giving them, because this is all they have to go off to correct their mistake. Tell them why the error is popping up and tell them how to fix it. In most cases there are several options. For example, either fix the width of the stile and rail or make the door wider, blah blah blah. So really that's it. That's how you make validations. The majority of the time now is going to be spent in playing with these. Okay, so do this with me. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to create a new order, and this will be my test window, so I can sit over here and create orders, and we're gonna do it to cope and stick door, and we're gonna just mess with this. So in this one, let's add a validation. Let's create one called max width, and we're just gonna do this because this will be easy. So we're gonna say if width is greater than 12, and then we're just gonna type something in here, and let's save it. So now if I come back to my test order and I do something like this, there's my validation. Now to play around with this and see the different options, let's come back and change this, save it, and you see that it changed to a red one. This will not let you proceed until you fix it. So go ahead now and play around with these. Build some validations, even if they're not the right ones. Start with something very easy. Maybe you want to limit the wood type they can choose or something like that. Maybe you want to tell them if they choose a certain wood that they have to watch out for X, Y, and Z. Build a couple validations, save them, and play with them and see how they look and react on the order. Do that until you get comfortable with validations.